Whoa. I heard all the shooting.
Hey everyone, welcome back to part 3
What happened?
of my The Last of Us playthrough.
Same thing's gonna happen to us if we don't get off the street.
You're the pro.
So we just met up with Ellie in the last episode. Now we're gonna head back to a safe house in order to wait for Tess until, for when she comes back from seeing the guns that Marlene has. Now this is one issue I feel like they kind of, or one area that they kind of missed a really cool opportunity on, is have it be a little bit more of a stealth section. Thankfully this part is very, very short, but it feels like there should be, some stealth section because you are out past curfew. They make it seem like being out past curfew is very, very bad.
Where are we going?
So I just would have really liked to see maybe like a little bit of stealth gameplay or something, so that way you can kind of try and dodge around some enemies. Granted, again, this is not a very long section, so you don't really need to worry too much. Also, a fun update is I got a Amazon notification that my copy of The Last of Us Part 2 is coming on Saturday now, so the 20th. Which means that by the time you will see this, which will be Monday, which is the 22nd, I'll probably be about halfway through the new Last of Us, and I'm very excited.
I don't know. She's my friend, I guess.
Your friend, huh? You're friends with the leader of the Fireflies. What are you, like, 12?
She knew my mom, and she's been looking after me. And I'm 14. Not that that has anything to do with anything.
So where are your parents?
Where are anyone's parents? They've been gone a long, long time.
So instead of just staying in school, you decide to run off and join the Fireflies, is that it?
Look, I'm not supposed to tell you why you're smuggling me, if that's what you're getting at.
You don't know the best thing about my job. I don't gotta know why. To be honest with you, I give two shits what you're up to.
Well, great.
Good.
So yeah, so I'm very excited that I'm not going to have to wait until Tuesday to play this game and try and dodge spoilers, because Lord knows there's already a lot of spoilers being posted on YouTube.
What are you doing?
Killing time.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
I am sure you will figure that out.
Your watch is broken. You mumble in your sleep. I hate bad dreams.
Yeah, me too.
You know, I've never been this close. It's the outside. Look how dark it is. Can't be any worse out there. Can it?
What on earth do the Fireflies want with you?
Hey. Sorry it took so long. Soldiers fucking everywhere.
How's Marlene?
She'll make it. I saw the merchandise. It's a lot. Wanna do this?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Think it's a bit strange that they're having us do their smuggling?
Marlene wanted to do it herself. We weren't their first choice. Or the second, for that matter.
So I do find it
She's lost a lot of men.
interesting,
Beggars can't be
this
choosers.
part, that
Hope there's someone alive to pay
it seems
us.
like they're kind of
Someone will
emphasizing
be around.
how little Ellie knows about the outside world. I mean, obviously she knows about infected and everything, but how dangerous the outside world is. And we're going to see a little bit more of that as the game goes on, but I just want to draw attention to that. I think it's interesting that they decided to do that, and kind of adds a little bit more to her character, is that she's a little naive as to how everything's going on, or as to everything that goes on in the world.
Who's waiting for us at the drop-off?
She said there's some Fireflies that have traveled all the way from another city. Girl must be important. What is the deal with you? You some bigwig's daughter or something?
Something like that. How long is this all gonna take?
If everything goes as planned, we should get you to them in a few hours.
Ellie, once we get out there, I need you to follow our lead and stay close.
Yeah, we're close.
Climb up and check if the coast is clear.
So this is where I feel like the game kind of starts to get going, is around this point. This next section is going to have a really good mix of every aspect of the gameplay. So there's going to be some stealth parts, some more just general action, but a good blend of the classic gameplay, the gameplay we've done so far, as well as a new stealth mechanic added in. Well, not new stealth mechanic, but you'll see. But I still feel like it takes this game a little while before it really feels like it's going, like you're finally getting into what makes this game great, but also what shows how fun this game can be. I think it takes a couple hours for this game to really start to shine.
Don't do anything stupid.
Move.
Turn around, on your knees. You scan him, I'll call it in.
Alright. Put your hands on your head.
This is Ramirez at Sector 12, requesting pickup for 3 stragglers. Understood.
Look the other way. I can make this worth your while.
Shut up. Tired of this shit. What's the ETA?
Couple minutes.
Fuck! I thought we were just gonna hold him up or something.
Oh, shit. Look.
Jesus Christ. Marlene set us up? Why the hell are we smuggling an infected girl?
I'm not infected.
No? Just lying?
I can explain.
You better explain fast.
Look at this.
I don't care how you got infected.
It's 3 weeks old.
No, everyone turns within 2 days, so you stop bullshitting.
It's 3 weeks. I swear. Why would she set you up?
I ain't buying it. Oh shit. Just run. Run!
Go! Go! Move!
I got 2 dead uniforms.
Follow me.
Alright, so now we're gonna get into a into a more extended stealth section.
When I give you the
You can go kind of loud with this part. You don't have to be stealthy. It will just make it a lot more difficult, especially at this point in the game. I do wish that they had waited just a little bit longer to reveal that Ellie was infected. You know, the first time I played this game was back when it first came out, and I really remember there being a little bit more time before you found out that Ellie's infected.
Ellie, it's gonna be another sprint. You ready?
But I also think the first time I played this, I kind of played it for like a little bit, put it to the side, picked it back up, played it for a little bit, put it back to the side. But this next, you know, these last couple times I've played this through in a very short amount of time recently, and then I'm playing it through right now. So I can tell you that it does feel like that kind of happens really quick.
Stay down, don't let him see you.
Come on, kid. Follow Joel.
So you don't want to go that way where they're looking. You want to go around here. And then just kind of dodge their flashlight beams. They can't see you otherwise. You can run over here into this pipe.
Clear back here.
I'll put you out over here.
Look up ahead.
So far, so good.
So they do make it pretty easy to dodge everything.
I hear him up ahead.
Hold up.
Shit, stay.
Go, go.
Who's there? Holy shit!
So somehow this guy saw me, but he doesn't actually attack for some reason, so I'm able to easily sneak around him. And again, you can go loud in this area and just try and kill them all, but especially on survivor difficulty, I do not recommend that. They have fully automatic weapons, whereas right now all you'll have is a single pistol. And especially not a lot of ammo if you're playing on survivor.
Down.
Come on, Ellie.
Shit, another patrol. Everybody get down.
There's so many of them out here. How are we supposed to get past them?
Ain't spotted us yet. Let's go around.
How's it look?
It's too many, Tess.
Oh, man.
Another thing is, even if you do get spotted, if you're quick enough and you can sprint around them,
People can distract them.
so you don't even have to fight them if you don't want to. And they are vulnerable to stealth kills, so you can, if you are able to sneak behind them, you can always choke them out. So again, really easy to just kind of stealth around them. This is what they want you to do in this area. You don't have to worry about Tess or Ellie accidentally triggering them.
Up there. Shit.
So again, just go around. I don't recommend running because they will hear you.
Are they gonna follow us down here?
We're sticking around to find out.
No, be quiet.
It's too damn close, Tess. Better be worth it, kid.
Okay, so after that, the first major stealth sequence is over.
So different.
All I gotta do is come down here and go into the area with the ribbons that are kind of floating there in the wind.
See where this leads?
Yeah, this looks right. Stay close.
At least we're out of the rain.
How's it look?
Think we can squeeze through here.
Alright, so this is when they're gonna start to kind of emphasize scavenging. So you'll find, we've already found some pieces of scrap and stuff in order to upgrade our weapons. But this is where we're first gonna find.
I don't think they see us. Stay in the shadows.
Okay, you can see that I thought I was in the clear, and then they do that, and they make you think maybe you're not. But you are. Once you get past that initial area, you're done. You don't have to worry about the soldiers anymore. But anyway, as I was saying, this next area, they're kind of starting to show the survival mechanics here, which is you want to look for things to craft with.
No, they're still around.
And again, these first couple sections, I'm in survivor difficulty, so I'm not going to find a lot. If you're playing this on easy, normal, or even hard, you will find a lot more stuff. Grounded, again, good luck. If you're a masochist, that's the setting for you. So, not a ton of stuff.
Tess,
And then you gotta go up
through this
here
pipe.
to the left.
I think we can make it through here.
Stay very close, Ellie.
Okay.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Jesus. All right, they're gone.
What was the plan? Let's say that we deliver you to the Fireflies. What then?
Marlene, she said that they have their own little quarantine zone with doctors there still trying to find a cure.
Yeah, we've heard that before, huh, Tess?
And that whatever happened to me is the key to finding a vaccine.
Oh, Jesus.
It's what she said.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Hey, fuck you, man. I didn't ask for this.
Me neither. Tess, what the hell are we doing here?
What if it's true?
I can't...
What if, Joel? I mean, we've come this far. Let's just finish it.
Do I need to remind you what is out there?
I get it.
This way. If we cut through downtown, we can hit the Capitol building by sunrise.
Man, there's a lot in that cutscene. It's interesting watching this after playing through it. Like, you don't notice these things when you're playing through it, but watching through it again as I'm making this commentary, there's a lot in that. Again, we see that Ellie's a little naive as to what's happening in the world. She doesn't really understand. Joel has been through it a lot with the Fireflies, it seems. Is very familiar with the, oh, there will be a cure, there will be a cure, and then having that fall through. But Ellie still has kind of a naive
They bombed the hell out of the surrounding areas to the
like
quarantine zone.
thought about it, that, oh, she's the cure. What happened to her? They can make a cure for it. And Tess, of course, that, oh, I get it line, she's kind of implying,
Yeah.
that she understands why it is that Joel doesn't want to transport this girl, because it reminds her a lot of Sarah.
For now. Come on.
There's a lot in that scene.
Damn, that's quite a drop.
Well, there's the Capitol building.
We need to get around this mess.
This is the downtown area?
It was. Now it's a giant wasteland.
Over here.
So this is a really cool little section to make your way through the ruined building. Because there's no quick way across.
Hey, Tess.
Coming.
So again, with this game, you want to make sure that you're checking everything. Because you have to craft a lot of your supplies. Sometimes you'll be lucky enough and you'll find like full med kits, full weapons and everything, but most of the time you have to craft it from materials that you find in the world, so make sure you search every corner.
Yeah, it might be. Let's not stick around. Another one. Shit.
I also like this part, especially reading that piece of text there. You know, you find out that even the military is having an issue with fighting these things, so they make it seem like they got everything under control, but they can't even venture out past the area that they've already contained without yeah, losing people, even with the fully automatic rifles and everything. So again, just checking all my corners, making sure everything's covered.
Clicker.
Jeez. What's wrong with its face?
That's what years of infection will do to you.
So what, are they blind?
Sort of. They see using sound. Like bats. If you hear one clicking, you gotta hide. That's how they spot you.
Whole building feels like it's about to fall apart. Watch your head.
So again, just make sure you scavenge for things.
Everything is totally cool.
Give me a hand with this.
They do such a fantastic job with building up the tension before they
Search for supplies.
finally reveal the clickers. Because the first thing you see are the two, like, eviscerated military soldiers. Then you see the dead clicker against the door. Then you finally get attacked by one. Really, really great way of building the tension there.
Here, patch yourself up.
Appreciate it.
Another thing that I think is interesting is that that's a scripted moment where you get damaged. So I don't know if they did that so then you can learn how to craft a med kit. But I do find it
Let's
interesting.
get the hell out of here. There you go.
So just checking to see. Does bother me that you need a shiv to open that door because very, very obvious that that door was already kind of open. But this is where they introduce these doors that you need to shift in order to open. This allows you to get a little bit extra items and stuff. It's usually a lot more than what you get in Survivor. But, you know, it is what it is. It's what makes this a lot more difficult to try to get through. The increased enemy damage, decreased healing items, and definitely a lot less items in order to craft things.
Just see if there's a way through.
It's clear.
Come on, Ellie.
All right, kid, you're up.
Come on.
You got it.
Okay. Come on, big guy. Let's go.
Clickers?
Shit, go.
Alright, so now we have to stealth around some clickers. It's kind of where they teach you that you can use bottles and bricks and stuff in order to distract enemies. Now, there might be some items in that room over there, but in all honesty, I've never really checked to see. And thankfully, you don't have to worry about your teammates, because otherwise, again, it get really annoying. So even though a lot of people get mad that they can just kind of run around without an issue, well, Joel, like, takes a single step on a piece of broken glass and they charge after him.
I think that's it. Ellie, you okay?
It is a little bit easier than having to constantly try to, you know, get sabotaged by them, so.
Give me a second. Here you go, ladies.
All right. Come on.
The stairwell's blocked. This is crazy.
Just don't look down.
Are you serious?
Come on, Ellie.
Yeah. Don't look down.
Yeah, this would be absolutely terrifying doing this in real life. Alright. So this is the this is where I decided to switch from Survivor to normal difficulty. Is this whole section right here. Because it is you'll see it's unfair what happens here, and I'm fine with like a little bit of bullshit in my video games, but this is ridiculous. So you'll see. I'm just gonna let this play out. and see if you can spot why it is that I decided to switch down. Yeah. So, somehow, me dropping down where you have to drop down was loud enough to trigger all of the enemies to come after me. And that does not happen if you do that normal. So I died like 3 more times and decided to go down to normal. The other thing that I do find interesting is that that steel pipe is not there on higher difficulties. Only on normal do they give that to you. So now I try and stealth through as best as I can. Now, me switching to normal does not stop me from dying like every 5 minutes, it feels like. Again, somehow they just know that I'm there. And this is, again, an issue that I have with this, is where I realized that the guns don't fire as fast as you want to pull the trigger. Which is fine with the revolver. But this also happens with the starter pistol, is that I would pull the trigger 5 or 6 times and I would get only a single shot off each time. Alright. So after that very stressful moment, what I consider to be one of the most unfair
Just get out of here.
and kind of difficult combat sections is over with. That is the only time you're going to have to really fight that many infected in such an enclosed space. I really don't know why it is that they decided to do that, and I'm sure that the reason why you get the revolver right there is purely because in playtesting they probably found that it was a little too difficult to make it through that section without using with only bullets, or people probably ran out because they haven't had any bullets up until this point, other than what you get when you fight Robert. So it makes it a little challenging. So they're like, all right, we'll put the revolver there, which the revolver does do a little bit more damage. However, it also does not. It does kick a lot more, so I can understand that having a slower firing rate than the starting pistol. But the starting pistol still has just a ridiculous firing rate for it, considering every other game it's as fast as you can pull the trigger, it's as fast as the bullets are going to come out of the gun.
See?
Alright, now they give you just a bunch more stuff once you switch to normal. They give you a lot more ammo, they give you a lot more supplies. Makes the game significantly easier in that sense. You don't have to be as
Down we go.
And let's get to
careful
it.
with supplies. You can very easily have a lot of
Get through here.
different pieces of equipment.
Watch your back.
You know what I was thinking? After we get back, we can take it easy for a little while.
You want to take it easy.
Hey, you're the one always going on about laying low.
And you always
Now this next area, they do make it a little bit difficult to tell where it is that you have to go.
Unbelievable when I see it.
because everything kind of looks the same. There's no like clear indications to where it is you have to go to continue. Like right here, all the edges look like you should be able to jump to them, but it's that one right there that you're supposed to go to.
Through here.
So you can already see, like, I have 2 shivs and a med kit. You know, you can very easily end up being a little bit overpowered by the time you get through this game, just because of how many items you get
Look at his
in the
Firefly.
in the
These guys
normal
aren't doing
campaign.
well in or out of the city. I just hope there's someone alive to meet. It's at the drop-off.
So now we have Molotovs, which are like I remember this game being a little bit more difficult, especially with regards to the Molotovs, and I don't think I realized just how useful they actually are against different enemies. So I'm looking for a specific note as well, which this guy up here had.
They're from the quarantine zone.
See? They're not our guys.
So, yeah, so they're not the Fireflies we're supposed to meet up with,
Over there.
thankfully.
Shit. God, we're almost out. Okay, Joel, you take point. I'll watch the rear. Ellie, no matter what, you stay right on his heels. Sure. You stay sharp.
I got it.
Alright, so just gonna give you a heads up again. So they tell you about the clickers. They have to be stealthy around them. Clickers are instant kills if they grab you. There's no quick time event, nothing. They just immediately kill you. You also can't choke out a clicker. You have to have a shiv in your inventory in order to stealth kill a clicker. And I do actually really like this system, having an enemy that is significantly more difficult than a standard enemy is actually kind of nice. So you want to come around here to this part because there will be a note here with the combination to a safe on it. This will allow you to get into a safe that's in the bookstore, which has a lot of scrap usually. So you'll be able to upgrade your guns a little bit easier. Man, I have to say, this is a tense section. But again, you can easily take out the clickers as long as you have a shiv. Don't use the shivs for regular enemies, there's no reason to. You just want to save them for clickers. The other thing is that in order to melee a clicker, you either have to have a brick in your hand or stun them with a brick or a bottle before you begin the melee combo, otherwise it will just have them grab you and kill you. So keep that in mind too. And I actually do fairly well through this section to a point. Spoiler alert, I do die in this, and I feel I die for a little bit of a bullshit reason. Yeah, not saying, I definitely make a mistake because I correct it on the run that I finally get through this. But there is absolutely a moment where I make a fatal error, and that kind of leads me to my death. Alright, so right over here is the bookstore. This again has that safe that has some scrap in it. So there's no clicker nearby. Keep that in mind, even though you can hear the clickers, there's no clicker immediately nearby. Right here, there is an enemy. Now, this is my mistake. I beat them up with the 2x4. And then suddenly there's a clicker right there who's able to sense me. So I do my best to take them out. I'm successful. However, there's immediately 2 more clickers. I try to throw a Molotov, and it does not work out for me. Now I can remember if I cut out the second time, or if this is my successful attempt. Okay. So somehow that alerted that enemy right there. There's a bunch more clickers. They all come running at me.
I hate these things.
Again, in case you're worried, if you throw a Molotov, it actually makes a sound that attracts clickers, which I did not know. Okay. So that hit them. But again, that makes a noise that attracts clickers, so they'll actually run into the fire. And I'm able to avoid dying right there. Now there was another unsuccessful attempt where I die pretty annoyingly. Like, I think I just grabbed that first clicker, but it's so annoying. But yeah, so if you throw a Molotov by a clicker, and I'll use this tactic a lot more in later sections, but if you throw a Molotov by a clicker, it hears it as a bottle breaking, so it runs over to it and sets itself on fire. I don't know if that was meant to happen in the game. I don't remember if that was in the original game. It might have been, I don't remember. But in the remastered version, it is. Alright, so we're gonna head back over here to the bookstore. And this is where I realized that I made a mistake, because I didn't realize that you can just sneak up on this enemy from the side, grab them, and choke them out. I had no idea that you could do that. And then, yeah, there's a ton of scrap in that safe, so it's absolutely worth doing that. I like that you can just hear the creaking of the building above. And right over here there is one more clicker they have to take care of. So they give you a ton of bottles, you can easily just throw them and lure it away. But I have a shiv, and I don't feel like having to deal with the time constraint of it returning back to its original position. Oh, I don't even sneak up on it, I just beat it. Okay.
Oh, man.
Alright, come on. Get up here.
Alright, now we're done with what I consider to be the most annoying section at this point in the
We
game.
made it.
Everyone okay?
Yes. Let's move.
You guys are pretty good.
And
at
again,
this
they don't
stuff.
really give you like a clear, this is where you
It's
have to
called
go.
luck, and it is gonna run out.
So you just kind of have to follow Tess.
Which way we going, Tess?
Capitol building's in this direction.
So you can see that's where we gotta go.
How do we get up over this truck? Let's see what we can find.
So now you go over into the side building here. There's going to be something for us to climb up on. But there's also 3 enemies. This is really easy. You can just sneak up to them and stealth kill all of them. Even though they're all literally right next to each other. I don't know if they expect you to go loud for this point. But you can easily stealth kill all of them, even when you're directly in front of them, like I am right here. I think putting a clicker in here and having it just kind of wander around would have been really good. Gonna add it to the tension, but nope, instead you get 3 freshly turned enemies, so.
All right.
They're recently infected. Those soldiers must have just turned.
Here we go. Right. Climb on up.
Alright, so now we head over here.
What? I don't hear anything.
Okay, double time.
They're coming.
I know.
Okay, that's good, go.
You got something on your shoe.
Ellie there with the gallows humor.
Okay, how do we get out of this place?
Find out.
So, this is where you first learn that you can
Marlene thinks you're a mutant.
use scrap in order to upgrade your items.
How were you bitten? I mean, you must have been somewhere you shouldn't to find an infected in the zone.
Yeah. I think
Although it does take me a little bit apparently to finally go over to the workbench to upgrade my weapons.
you know, explore the city. I was in the mall when I ran into infected.
That place is completely off
There we
limits.
go.
How the hell did you get in there?
Alright, so right now we can't really upgrade too much.
Anyways,
But we can upgrade the basic stuff for both of our pistols.
I see.
I would highly recommend that you upgrade fire rate for both of them. Now they'll fire roughly as quick as you can pull the trigger. I do think it's ridiculous that you have to do that for the 9mm, but that's just me.
Hope she's alright.
I told you. She's gonna be fine.
So we can easily upgrade all of our guns.
That should help us out.
And you can use the supplements in order to... I never use listening mode, so I don't know why it is that I upgraded listen mode through this, but I did. I don't know why, because I don't like using it. Although I do think I use it very soon. There's not really anything in this room. This just leads back to that first room that we were in.
Ah, shit! Sorry! Sorry, that was me.
Tess.
Sorry.
Come on, stay close to me.
Alright, so I have to go up here. Now it's kind of wonky right here. I've had it where I've fallen down because how that floor is curved. Again, I don't know if that's just because of the remaster or if that's something that was in the original. So we can make another shiv. And you would want a shiv for this next area. Trust me.
All right, watch your head. Hurry, go, go, go! I'm alive. I'll make my way around.
Look, they're here!
Tess?
Run!
Alright, so we have to make our way over here. Now this is one of multiple kind of stealth focused, but you can again go loud if you want to, but it's really kind of frowned upon sections. All you have to do is just stealth past the liquors. There are some extra items if you go off to the sides for this section. I do believe I go to one of those side areas right over here, because there is a shiv door right here. So opening this up, you're gonna find a lot more items back here. So we get a ton of scrap, some pills. I think there might even be some other items in there, but I apparently just walked past it. So again, the clickers are all the way over there. You don't really have to worry about them. There's only one that you actually have to be worried about, which is this clicker right here. So this is why you want a shiv, or I guess 2 shivs. You want to stealth up to this clicker, grab them, and then take them out. And that's the only one you actually have to kill. The rest of them you can just ignore, because once you enter this door, that's it. You don't have to be stealthy anymore. It's a really nice high tension area, but you know, in all honesty, it's not that bad of a section because you can just ignore half the enemies.
Fine. Guys, get in here! The girl!
Shit.
Now, yeah. Really nice section here. And again, just upgrading the pistol fire rate just enough so we don't have to worry about missing some enemies is so nice. That being said, I don't die in this section somehow. This is before I changed the aiming sensitivity, so it's still kind of like trying to aim with your legs in cement. So I go for a lot of body shots at this point. So again, sometimes the melee combat is not that great. As you can see where I somehow completely missed a guy, even though he was right next to me. Oh well.
Oh, shit.
Tess, how are you holding up?
Just a bit winded. Look this way. This will get us to the roof.
How about you, kid? You okay?
Define okay.
Are you still breathing?
Do small panicked breaths count?
Yeah, they count.
Right? Then I'm okay.
Again, there's a lot in
Gotta
those
find a way across.
conversations. Because again, this is
she is.
Ellie's first
That's our
foray
building.
out here. So she's taking in a lot.
You stand back. Now watch your step as you're going out, because it's going to be a little... So is that everything you hoped for?
Jury's still out. But man, can't deny that view.
Come on, this way. Hey, let's pick it up. Look, we're almost done. Stay focused.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't really know why it is that they focus on Joel looking at the watch
around the
that
corner.
Sarah
Come
gave
on.
him in that scene.
Keep
A lot of
moving,
people
kid.
try to read into that. I don't really see much about that other than maybe Ellie reminds him of Sarah and, you know, he looks at the watch for that, you know, just like a glance, thinking about her. Who knows? But a lot of people like to try to read into that as like that's when like he first starts to bond with Ellie, but
Look at this.
There's a Firefly logo
No,
on
no.
his arm. What if we get there and they're all dead?
They won't be.
But how do you know?
I just do. Look, it's gonna be fine.
Okay.
Has to be.
Up and over.
alright. So there's really not much that happens in between here and the Capitol building because
Home
it's
stretch,
literally
Tess.
like 100 yards away. But we do, however, so I just like took a second to look at that because I feel like poly contrast is something that is used in game development. I don't know, it sounds like a game development term. Like it has to do
Just
with
so
like
it's
maybe
out there, I can't
how
speak.
like
Yeah, looks
shadows
like it's
are
shallow
put
on the
on
right side. Follow me.
on an object in a video game.
I'm glad Marlene hired you guys.
What do you mean?
I know you guys are getting paid for this.
But I do
um,
this section I do kind of have like a little bit of an issue with just because they'll just drop that, oh, Ellie doesn't know how to swim. Okay. Like it seems a little silly to me. That and the other like every other time she's like in waist deep water, doesn't mention it until right now. But I'm just gonna go ahead and let this next scene just play out. We'll finally meet in the Fireflies.
No. No, no, no.
what happens now?
What are you doing, Tess?
Maybe they had a map or something to tell us where they were going.
How far are we gonna take
As far as it needs to go. Where was this lab of theirs?
Oh, she never said. She only mentioned that it was someplace out west.
What are we doing here? This is not us.
What do you know about us? About me?
I know that you are smarter than this.
Really? Guess what? We're shitty people, Joel. It's been that way for a long
No,
time.
we are survivors.
This is our chance.
It is over, Tess! Now, we tried. Let's just go home.
I'm not going anywhere. This is my last stop.
What?
Our luck had to run out sooner or later.
You going on?
No, don't! Don't touch me.
Holy shit. She's infected.
Joel,
Let me see.
I didn't mean for this.
Show it to me. Oh, Christ.
Oops, right? Give me your arm. This was 3 weeks. I was bitten an hour ago, and it's already worse. This is fucking real, Joel. You've got to get this girl to Tommy's. He used to run with this crew. He'll know where to go.
No. That was your crusade. I am not doing that.
Yes, you are. Look. There's enough here that you have to feel some sort of obligation to me, so you get her to Tommy's. They're here.
Damn it.
I can buy you some time, but you have to run.
You want us to just leave you here?
Yes.
There's no way that...
I will not turn into one of those things. Come on. Make this easy for me.
I can find...
No, just go! Just fucking go.
Ellie,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean for this.
get a move on.
We know you're in there. Drop your weapons and come out with your hands up.
What the fuck? I can't
Man,
believe we
there
did
is
Stop.
so much
that. We just left her to
to
die.
unpack there.
Stop. You stay close to me. We have to move.
Oh man.
Wow. Again, like playing through it does not do playing through this does not do what watching it as I'm making these commentary does. There's a lot there. There's like a lot of like bottled emotion, keeping people at arm's length kind of stuff there, because there's so much uncertainty
Tess.
You take out the door.
about this,
With me. Yes, sir.
about this world.
You're gonna be here soon.
Man, there's a lot there. I don't even know where to start. The fact that, like, obviously there's feelings between Joel and Tess that, like, were never really talked about or touched on. Also here we get our first long arm, so we get a hunting rifle, which is it's a super powerful, really kind of a cornerstone
I got this.
of your playstyle. Right now it's single shot. You can get up to 3 shots. So again, you can kind of choose if you want to stealth your way through this, or you can go loud. I would highly recommend that you start off on the stealthier side, because again, these are armored enemies. They have armor, they have powerful weapons.
Stay with me. Come on.
The other thing that, might blow your mind is thinking about the cutscenes that they have. This game was made before face capturing software was mainstream. Back before it was a a cornerstone of game development. So all of motion capture was already being used. They used motion capture for everything in this, especially the cutscenes. But knowing that with this game, also something I did not know is that if you have a rifle, a shotgun equipped, Joel will actually use it for the first part of a melee combo, so to give your attacks a little bit of an extra, you know, oomph, I guess. But before I lose my train of thought on this, the fact that they had to hand edit the faces of the characters as they were animating them in order to have the faces convey the emotion that they wanted. And they based that off of by watching the actors during the motion capture sequences. They would just sit there, watch it, and just slowly animate the faces, kind of match the emotion that the actors were trying to convey. So hats off to Naughty Dog for that, because the emotions that you see on faces are on point. They are amazing.
What are we doing? Joel, how are we gonna get out of here?
Right. We're gonna go through that hall. Stay down. I don't know how many more there are.
And the other thing that that's always kind of implied in this game, that I don't know if they actually like show at any point, but I never really picked up on it until a couple of my most recent playthroughs and watching other people's commentary on this game, is that Joel's number 2 in Tess and his operation. He's not in charge. Tess is actually like the one who's in charge between them. So this whole part where so Tess had a plan right up until she died. Now it's Joel's has to be in charge and has to try and figure out what to do next. I always thought that was interesting that they decided to do this. So again, you can easily just sneak past those guys. There's no reason to try and fight them. They're all armored, so it can be really, really annoying to try and make it through that part. So you want to run down here into the subway.
No target. I repeat, no target.
There's a soldier over there.
Good. Hold your position and wait for reinforcements. Copy that.
How the hell are you breathing in this stuff?
I wasn't lying to you.
Did you spot him?
No, place is empty.
Search the area. Let's find them and get the hell out of here before any clickers show up.
I don't even want to say this is an issue, but like I can't believe that they made it so it took Joel
God damn it.
seeing her breathing in this stuff that would cause him to turn if he were exposed to it, to finally believe that she's in fact immune. You know, just it kind of bothers me with that. I do wish that, you know, it should be kind of obvious at this point that she's immune. She got bit. They show, you know, Tess shows him the difference between their bites. Also, you don't have to fight these two guys. You can just stealth around them, and it's actually pretty easy to do so. I do check this way out, but there is nothing over here. You can't climb out on this side. You have to go all the way through. So there's no more enemies that you have to fight in this section. And it does kind of make this this part slow down quite a bit, that there's not really anything happening. And again, Ellie reminds us that she can't swim.
We'll figure something.
So now begins some of the most well-known parts of this game, which are the quote-unquote environmental puzzles, which they're not good. I really hope this is fixed in the sequel. I've heard kind of mixed things so far. Some people have said the environmental puzzles are great and they're amazing and they do a really great job, and then I've also heard the complete opposite, that they are boring and nothing's really changed, and that if you're okay with that, then if you're okay with the environmental puzzles in this game, then you'll probably be fine with the environmentals in the sequel.
Ellie?
But it does feel kind of not bad, but it doesn't feel that great with these puzzles. I do hope that they are expanded on.
There's a ladder. Maybe we can use that.
So in this one, note, they do kind of talk about the Stalkers. Stalkers are a enemy type that we won't really run into until a later point in the game. And it seems like in the sequel they do a little bit more with them. So I'm not going to talk about them too much until we actually end up fighting them. But you won't have to worry about them right now. So there's some items to grab down here. And then there's also a Firefly Emblem, which is a collectible that you can find in this game. I don't really go out of my way to grab them. I'll find them as I do.
Just stay put.
In this game, but I'm not gonna actively try and seek them out. I've probably already missed like 4 of them. So, yeah.
Anything down there?
It's a dead end.
So anyway, back to the environmental puzzles. There's basically 3 types. There's where's the plank, where's the ladder, and put Ellie on a pallet so she can be floated across this to the other side to get a ladder or a plank for Joel.
Get on.
Really?
Ellie.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that there's more to do in the sequel, but we'll kind of have to wait and see, won't we?
I got you.
So you're gonna just climb up here. That's pretty much it for this section of the game. So there's a little bit of combat, an environmental puzzle. I've run down here, but there's really nothing down here. But you never know, especially in this game. So yeah. So I'm gonna just go ahead and, well, I'll hang on for another second here. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and sign off, and I will let this last cutscene kind of play out.
Hey, look, about Tess. I don't even know what
Here's how this thing's gonna play out. You don't bring up Tess. Ever. Matter of fact, we just keep our histories to ourselves. Secondly, don't tell anybody about your condition. They think you're crazy, they'll try to kill you. And lastly, you do what I say when I say it. We clear?
Sure.
Repeat it.
What you say goes.
Good. Now there's a town. A few miles north of here, there's a fella there that owes me some favors. Good chance he could get us a car.
Okay.
Let's get a move on.